What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Michael Chandler believes he can beat Charles Oliveira 9 times out of 10. Even though Michael Chandler is 0-2 against Charles Oliveira now, he still thinks that if he and Do Bronx fight 10 times, he'd win 9 of those fights, despite being well aware of his record against the former champ and knowing that fans might roll their eyes at him. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show on Wednesday, Chandler reflected on their latest fight, saying that he wasn't happy with his performance and he knows he's capable of more. I'm not happy with my performance. I would give myself a 2 out of 10. I cannot overstate how horrible of a performance this was or the set of circumstances it was after the first round compared to what my vision was for what I'm capable of. I believe I beat Charles Oliveira 9 times out of 10. And obviously, I've lost him twice, 2 out of 2. I have a 100% loss rate to Charles Oliveira. I understand why people may tisk at that, roll their eyes at that. I'm so unhappy with the performance. I'm so excited to get healthy and give the fans and the supporters the performance they deserve. Chandler's also fired back at critics who have called him out for hitting Charles Oliveira in the back of the head during the fight, reiterating once again that he believes the shots were landing on the ear rather than behind the head. As it turns out, after watching the fight back, Chandler isn't too happy with the commentary team. I'm not going to say I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, I'm not going to say that people could not look at it and splice it and look at it from under a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass, but the unified rules of mixed martial arts say that there's a line drawn from the crown of the head down to the neck, 1-inch variance on either side. So you're talking about a 2-inch area on the back of someone's head that's considered the back of the head. If you watch 90% of the shots, at least most of them, almost all of them, or at least where I was aiming all of them, my hand, my fist, was catching the ear. Based on the reply section, many fans are not buying what Chandler's selling. Update on Islam Makhachev fight. While nothing's been finalized yet, Islam Makhachev's manager sounds pretty confident that the champion will run things back with Arman Tsarukyan on January 18th at the UFC 311 card set for the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. During a Russian-speaking interview with Ushataika, Makhachev's manager gave an update on the situation, saying that he's assuming the fight will happen despite no contracts being signed. On top of that, he also confirmed that Khabib will be in Makhachev's corner come fight night as the champion looks to defend the title for the 4th time. No, the contracts have not been signed. We personally have not signed or received anything yet, but we're preparing for January 18. Back in September, we were given this date. We accepted it and there was no specific confirmation about the opponent yet. We assumed that it will be Arman Tsarukyan. If Makhachev is able to get the win, he would cement his place in UFC history with the most lightweight title defenses. Right now, he's tied with Khabib, Frankie Edgar, and Smooth Benson Henderson, who all have 3 lightweight title defenses. Of course, one of Frankie's title defenses actually went to a split draw, with the champion retaining the belt the same way Tyron Woodley did against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Khabib promotes crypto coin insulting Conor McGregor. After sharing news that a jury ruled against Conor McGregor in a civil suit on his Instagram story, Khabib Nurmagomedov is now throwing his support behind a cryptocurrency that's dedicated to donating money to victims of Conor McGregor. The crypto project, titled Convict, says they were inspired by the €250,000 verdict against the former champ. The project's account caught the attention of Khabib Nurmagomedov, who weighed in, writing, "Good job guys, you have my full support. This guy deserved punishment." Khabib isn't the only fighter who's weighed in on McGregor's latest legal troubles. During his appearance on the Ariel Helwani show on Wednesday, Michael Chandler spoke about the situation and whether or not he thinks McGregor's return will wind up getting pushed back even further. "I don't know the legal ramifications. I do know after something like this, if I was in that position, obviously the last thing I would want to do is not be training and not be moving forward toward a common goal. So I'm sure he wants to get back in training. I think that's what his statement said. He's going to be with his family. He's going to get back in the gym. You know, it's a tough position. It's a horrible position all around, obviously, for him and for everyone involved, and it's a tough spot. So I don't really have anything else to say about it, but I do think the best thing he can do, most likely, obviously, is to get back moving toward a common goal." The last we heard regarding McGregor's return was from Dana White, who said that the former champ was probably going to return in late 2025. Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov go back and forth. Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov are back at it again. Even though there's been no word on if the two will fight or when, the machine took aim at the undefeated contender in a new video as Professor Dvalishvili, where he discussed the bantamweight title picture. During the video, the machine shared his unfiltered thoughts on different contenders while also playing matchmaker. When it came time to discussing Nurmagomedov, the champion said that he's got to get to work to get on his level and earn a title shot.
Hello everyone, Professor Dvalishvili is back to teach you another important lesson. So we have Merab. Wow, what a handsome guy, the current champion. He has 11 fight win streak and has beat 4 ranked and still active former UFC champions. Jose Aldo, Peter Yan, Henry Cejudo, and Sean O'Malley. Then we have former champion Peter Yan, who has beat top ranked opponents. Davison Figueiredo, Song Gidong, I can even give him Sean O'Malley.
Whatever, dude.
Ori Sanhagan, and King of Rio, Jose Aldo. Last and certainly least, we have Umar. And he has beat who? And who? No one but gifted Sanhagan.
Bruh.
Also, reminder guys, I was backup fighter for O'Malley versus Vera, and when UFC asked Umar to be backup fighter for me and O'Malley, he said no. I mean, this guy wants title shot served to his bed like a breakfast. Biggest lesson here, Umar, get to work, you're not my level. Earn your title shot like rest of us, whose last names don't get gifts. Class dismissed.
Umar wasn't having any of it and wasted pretty much no time before firing back at the champion with a quote from Islam Makhachev that Dana White famously had put up in the Apex. What does this title represent? It means you're the best in the world, and if you're the best in the world, it doesn't matter who is standing across from you. What do I say? No, never. Let's do this. Before this, the champ had thrown out the idea of a rematch with Peter Yan after his win over Davison Figueiredo this past weekend, which didn't go over well with fans or Sean O'Malley, who accused the machine of being terrified of Umar. Khamzat Chimaev and Arman Tsarukyan grappling. Khamzat Chimaev and Arman Tsarukyan may fight at totally different weight classes, but that didn't stop the two from grappling on season 3 of Hype Reality, which is basically the Russian equivalent of The Ultimate Fighter. Both contenders are coaches on the show, and even though they're not going to fight at the end of the season like tough coaches do, the two were seen grappling in a short video shared on social media. During the clip, Chimaev snatches Tsarukyan's neck before transitioning to a darce as the video ends. So far, no official word yet on when Tsarukyan and Chimaev will be back in the octagon. The expectation is that Tsarukyan will run things back with Islam Makhachev in January, while Chimaev is probably going to have to wait for Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis to fight for the title before getting his chance to capture UFC gold. UFC updates. With the new year right around the corner, the UFC is working to add fights to upcoming cards in 2025. According to Alex Bahunin, Cody Brundage and Ryan Loder will throw down on March 1st in a fight that will see Brundage look to get back in the win column after a no contest back in July. Meanwhile, Loder's going to be looking to make it 2 straight inside the octagon after a victory in his UFC debut back in August. FRM Europe is also reporting that a fight between Shauna Bannon and Pooja Tomar has been added to the UFC London card on March 22nd, with Bannon looking to pick up her second win in a row, while Tomar looks to build on a split decision in her UFC debut. According to their website, the UFC's also confirmed that the February 22nd fight night card will take place in Seattle, Washington for the first time since 2013, when Mighty Mouse submitted John Moraga. So far, no word yet on a headliner, but the card already has a fight between Edson Barboza and Steve Garcia, and a fight between Brendan Allen and Anthony Hernandez booked. Kamaru, Usman, and Henry Cejudo give advice to Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal might have been able to pick up the biggest win of his career against Paul Craig at UFC 309, but after the fight, people like Daniel Cormier and Dana White said that the NCAA legend still has some work to do before taking the next step in his career. On the latest episode of Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo's Pound for Pound podcast, the two former champs offered Nickal, who was brought in as a guest, some advice, with Usman explaining the importance of the entertainment side of the fight game, and Cejudo offering some technical advice on how Nickal can set up his takedowns.
Yes, of course, you want to be the best, and you are going to, and you have those aspirations for yourself, but also understand that this is a sport of entertainment. And in that, when it becomes that, then now you become a businessman. The fans, they're gonna love you one minute, but then the next minute you suck, or the next minute you're overrated.
You do like that high-low very well. I feel like you really got to change up that combination, man. I feel like sometimes you got to level change, maybe half jab kick. And what Kamaru was saying is, use a mouthpiece, man. These MMA fans, they will eat you and you out, dude. And you cannot allow them to do that. Your real fans are your family and friends, bro. That's just the reality, man.
Thank you guys so much. I'm not even joking. That advice, it means the world to me. It means the world to hear that from you guys, both you, Henry, and you, Kamaru. You guys have been there. You guys have done what I want to do. And that knowledge and experience that you have is so valuable.
The NCAA legend also talked about what's next for him after his latest victory, throwing out a ton of fighters in the top 15 like Michel Pereira, Anthony Hernandez, Shara Bullet, Roman Kopylov, and Kevin Holland, who is not ranked. They're all guys that I could have trouble with, but at the same time, I believe in my skill set, and as I continue to train, work more on the striking, work more on the jiu-jitsu, I think I can also dominate a lot of those guys and make it look easy. Considering Nickal came out of his fight with Paul Craig pretty unscathed, he likely won't be on the sidelines for too long. With his sights set on climbing up the middleweight rankings, it'll be interesting to see who the UFC wants him to fight his next time out. The MMA community goes off on Dana White for the cost of being a UFC fan in 2024. According to a tweet on Twitter, it costs $1,119 a year to watch every UFC pay-per-view, $143 to watch ESPN Plus, and $120 to watch Fight Pass, for a total of $1,383 per year to be a fan of the UFC. Here's what the community had to say. And I wouldn't mind if I knew that most of this money was going towards the fighters. Wait, y'all MFers pay for this? I go to the movie theater out by me. They do the pay-per-views for $20 and I can watch pretty much any fight night at random bars or restaurants in town. Good thing I watch every fight for free, lol. Who pays for fights in 2024 unless you're having a fight night party? Add in live events, that's another $5K, $8K between flights, tickets, and hotels. Go to MSG and it's cost an arm, both legs, with an ear. Why does it cost to be a sports fan today? Life is so unfair. I cut the UFC off a long time ago when they started charging $70 for the pay-per-view. I feel bad for American fans because I get all this for $8 a month. How do they charge this much and pay their fighters? That's why these MMA fighters sign up to get KO'd by boxers. What are your thoughts on the UFC's prices? As we're near the end of 2024, many fans feel like the prices will go higher in 2025. However, if they sign a deal with Netflix, that could change everything. Jon Jones makes a video trolling people as a chiropractor. Here's the clip.
If your back is out of whack and you need a good crack, come on down to Dr. Johnny Bones' chiropractic office. We realign your spine every time. A lot of people have been debating on whether I'll retire or not, but I say, why retire when I can just diversify? That looks about right. I have quite a bit of experience adjusting people's necks, backs, ankles, faces. Fun fact, you receive an honorary chiropractic degree after 25 UFC wins. I get asked all the time, how do you have the stamina to crack bones all week and then do it in the octagon? My answer is ketone IQ. It's packed with ketones, your body's preferred fuel source. Keeps me fired up and focused. But the hardest part of my day, accounting for the invoices. Thankfully, ketone IQ crushes brain fog as well. My methods may be a little unorthodox, but hey, results are results. Most people go to the chiropractor office every month. My patients, they never come back. Come on down to Dr. Johnny Bones' chiropractic office to see if it's all that it's cracked up to be. How you feeling, bud?